I had no choice that evening. My old Ford broke down right on Route 101 in Oregon. There was zero cell service in that wilderness. The nearest town was about 10 miles away, and the sun was setting fast behind the tops of the ancient Oregon pines. Standing on the shoulder of a dark highway was pointless, so I decided to cut through the national forest. The locals called that area Blackwood. If only I listened to the car radio more often. I would have known that over the last month, 6 tourists had vanished without a trace in that county. No cars, no tents, no tracks. But I didn't know. I just wanted to get to a motel as fast as possible. I stepped off the asphalt onto an old dirt logging road. At first, everything seemed fine. Typical twilight forest in the Pacific Northwest. The smell of pine needles, fog thickening between the tree trunks. But the further I walked from the highway, the more a strange feeling weighed on me. You know that sensation when you can feel someone else's eyes on the back of your neck? I stopped. The woods around me were dead. Not a single sound. No coyotes, no crickets. Not even the sound of the wind in the tops of the yew trees. Absolute, unnatural silence. In that deep wilderness, the sound of my own breathing felt deafening. I picked up my pace. Twilight turned into pitch darkness. My phone's flashlight only cut through the gloom to reveal a narrow strip of the ruined road and ugly, twisted tree trunks. And suddenly, I heard it. A dry snap of a branch somewhere to my right, deep in the thicket. A heavy, splintering snap. Something massive was forcing its way through the underbrush, completely unconcerned about staying quiet. And it was moving parallel to me. Panic is a cold wave that paralyzes your mind. I broke into a run. I stumbled over roots and scratched my face on branches. The creature behind the trees sped up, too. Now I wasn't just hearing snaps. I could hear heavy, raspy breathing. It wasn't human. It sounded like a diesel engine running out of fuel, mixed with a low, vibrating growl. My only hope was to break through to the clearing with the high-voltage power lines. That road led out to a service lot. Just as my strength was giving out, a light flickered ahead, about 60 yards out. Those were powerful, life-saving headlights. I burst out of the thicket into the open. A massive, chromed Peterbilt was idling on the shoulder. Its marker lights were glowing, and the driver had already stepped out of the cab. But he didn't run toward me. He stood by the bumper and aimed a powerful tactical flashlight straight at my face. The blinding beam hit my eyes. I squinted, blocking it with my hand as I ran. "Stop right there!" the trucker barked. His voice was laced with raw, primal fear. "Don't come any closer to the rig. Who are you?" I kept running, stumbling over my own feet. "Help me! Something's following me out of the woods." He didn't lower the light. I could feel the beam scanning me, as if checking whether I was human. He was wearing a denim jacket and a cap, gripping the flashlight with both hands, and I could see them trembling. 10 yards from the semi, I collapsed onto my knees in the mud, gasping for air. Only then did he drop the light. "Get in the cab! Move it!" he yelled, lunging for the driver's door. We scrambled into the cab almost at the same time. The driver, his name was Bill, slammed the heavy gear lever into place. The giant Peterbilt shuddered, its engine roared, and it began picking up speed on the rough dirt road. "What the hell was that, Bill?" I whispered, staring into the giant side mirror. There was only darkness. Bill didn't answer. He was pushing the truck for all it was worth. Sweat rolled down his forehead as he kept glancing back and forth between the road and his mirrors. "You not from around here, kid?" he finally managed to say. "From California. So you didn't know. People go missing out here. Often. The cops pin it all on man-eating bears. But bears don't leave tracks the size of a pickup tire, and they don't run on 2 legs. Right then, a heavy impact slammed into the right side of the rig. Metal shrieked. We both screamed. A massive shadow flashed past the passenger window, leaving deep, parallel claw marks across the glass. "It's here!" I yelled. It wasn't just chasing us, it was hunting us. The creature kept appearing and disappearing into the roadside brush, throwing its weight against the side of the truck each time. The hits were so hard they caused the multi-ton semi to sway on the road. Bill gripped the steering wheel with everything he had. "It's trying to run us into the ditch." Then we heard something jump onto the roof of the cab with a loud thud. The sound of tearing steel echoed in our ears. Right above our heads, holes began to pop open in the metal roof with a horrific crunching sound. Massive, black claws jabbed down through the ceiling. They were longer than a hunting knife. One claw missed Bill's shoulder by an inch. I could see cold night air and tufts of coarse fur pushing through the tear. But we couldn't see its face, just those claws tearing through our only protection. "Interstate's right ahead, just a little further." Bill slammed the gas pedal to the floor. Sensing its prey was slipping away, the creature on the roof made one last desperate move. It leapt off the roof and landed right onto the hood. We finally saw it. A massive, matted, hunched back completely blocked the view through the windshield. Powerful paws dug into the chrome hood, crumpling it like a tin can. Two glowing yellow eyes stared at us, point blank through the glass. It lasted only a second. Bill slammed on the brakes. We were thrown forward. The creature slipped off the hood and went under the front bumper. A horrific crunch and a heavy impact shook the entire truck. The multi-ton Peterbilt jolted as if hitting a massive boulder. Bill hit the gas again. We shot out onto the paved highway. The lights of gas stations and street lamps flickered past, bringing a long-awaited illusion of safety. We drove in total silence for about 15 miles until a 24-hour pilot truck stop appeared ahead. Only there did Bill finally shut off the engine. We stepped outside. Bill's knees were shaking uncontrollably. He leaned against a massive front tire and lit a cigarette with trembling hands. I walked around the rig. The hood was crushed. The roof of the cab had jagged tears in it, like it had been opened with a tin can opener. Deep scratches lined the passenger door, and stuck in the steel bumper was a clump of coarse, thick, dark gray fur. There was no blood. None at all. Getting hit by a massive semi hadn't even wounded it. Bill dropped me off at the nearest motel. We didn't talk anymore. There were no words for what we had survived. I've never driven through Oregon after sunset ever since, and I never turn off the car radio, because I know that thing is still out there in the Blackwood forests. It has healed its wounds, and now it's just waiting for the next lonely traveler on that night highway.